Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Berry Sons.
You're going to make me snort laugh.
Berry Sons Arts. What is up, man?
Oh, man. Just moved to New Orleans and looking for a gallery, trying to find representation.
How are you liking your move to New Orleans? Like you're from Lafayette, Baton Rouge?
Well, I moved from Lafayette.
Okay.
I was in Atlanta for 30 years. So coming home was quite different.
If you we can move this.
Like,
Yeah, but you can look over here at me.
okay. Yeah, coming home was quite different.
How was Atlanta? I'm not a big fan.
Well, I moved there in 87, I think. The oil field crashed here in 82. And by 86, I was bankrupt. My clients were all oil field people. And so I had to move. And I had 3 kids to take care of, And so it was a bit of a rough spot. But one of my friends had moved to Atlanta, and she said the economy was good and stable. So I packed my spaghetti pot, my sewing machine, and anything else that I could fit in that trunk, and drove to Atlanta. And it was August. When I got there, it was like drier, and I went, why are they complaining about the heat? This is heaven. But anyway, no, I had been a hair colorist for Redken Laboratories, and on the road, I taught Redken hair color rather, and I was on the road, and I was even here at the Superdome, like maybe a year before all this happened. I don't remember the exact dates, but it was a big hair convention. I was told there were 6,000 people, and we took them in like 400 at a time. And so it was a class after class after class for 3 days, I think, 4 days maybe. And so I had met a bunch of these guys from Buckhead, and they...
So that's what drew you that way? The fact that you knew people?
I figured I'd get a job pretty easily because...
Makes sense.
I knew these people. Some of them actually had come to my salon in Lafayette and paid me to teach them, so I knew them pretty well. So when I got there, I started going to each one of them and saying, hey, I need a job, blah, blah, blah. And all of them go, oh, well, we don't need anybody right now, blah, blah, blah. And then finally I cornered Stan Milton, and I was like, bro, what's wrong with you?
Is also one of your friends?
And one of the people I taught. Yeah.
Okay.
And he was like, Bear, I'm going to tell you the truth. We're scared of you.
Why?
That's what I said. I said, I know my... And he was like, yeah, that's why we're scared of you. I said, you know what, Stan?
It's not a competitive field. I don't understand why they would be scared of you. It's just coloring your hair.
Well, they figured I'd take their business and run. And I told them, I said, if you're scared of that, then you are doing something wrong and you know it. That's all there is to it.
I didn't realize the hair game was that competitive.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, I got to do something. And so I drove to the north side of town. In those days, all the black people lived north, and the south was white, and it was much like Lafayette is now.
A little segregated.
Uh-huh. So I went into a mall, and I ran across a black salon. There was 14 hairdressers burning hair. And they had a little stove, and it wasn't like electric, but curling irons. It was like a little stove. And I walked up and told the girl, I said, I need to talk to whoever's hiring. And she was like, you got, she looked at me like I had 3 heads. And so I said, no, for real, I need to talk to whoever's hiring. And so out came Dickie Wong. Dickie was from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Kind of wiry man, slightly bow-legged, not very tall. And he comes out and he goes, "You looking for a job, man?" I said, "Yes, sir." "You know how to do black folk hair, man?" I said, "Only my relatives." He busted laughing.
I mean, is it that different?
Back in those days?
Well, I don't have a clue about hair anyway.
No, back in those days, it was in white beauty school. They don't even teach you. They tell you about a relaxer. They don't show you. They don't even let you put it on, even your dummy. You know what I'm saying?
What does that do? A relaxer?
Most hair, hair is hair, so it never freaked me out. But what it does is it literally destroys the hair on some level, and it causes because
the curly hair to release.
The curly hair is flat. It's white people hair like this, curly hairs like this. Mm-hmm. Black people hair like this. It's like, you ever take a ribbon and put your scissor on it and make it curl?
Yeah.
That's why it get tight like that, because it's this shape. So it is different, But he was like, "You know what, man? I've been wanting to open an integrated salon. Give me 3 weeks. Can you find me 2 more white hairdressers?" I said, "Yes, sir, I can." 3 weeks to the day, he called me. And we opened what I didn't realize until I came home, actually. We opened probably the first integrated salon in Atlanta in 1987.
That's cool. Is it still operational today?
I don't know. I really don't. I know that now you can go to an area where there's hair salons and there's black and white hair salons. And some are mixed. It's not like... Definitely not like it was.
I feel like in the city like New Orleans and Atlanta, where there's a nice bag of mixed races, you kind of have to know how to cut all kinds of hair.
Right.
Because people are going to go, like, there's like barbershops all over the place. Here, they could probably cut anybody's hair that walked in there.
Yeah. Well, I've done that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I got to Atlanta. And a year later, here was Mr., teaching 6,000 hairdressers walking the Kroger parking lot, begging for people to let me touch you.
It's part of it, like right now I manage a bar. There's no telling what may happen to the bar. I might have to go back and start bartending again. Mm-hmm. It's just part of the game.
Well,
so you can't ever, I think people need to let their egos go away.
Well, And you, in my case, it was forced humility, and it wasn't about being with the black people. It was about, trying to pull in clients,
paying the bills,
because they didn't know how good I was. But a year later, we were clocking dollars stupid. And finally, 5 years later, I got a salon of my own in Buckhead, and I became the competition for those people. Mm-hmm. And what they were doing wrong was they would make people get there for their appointment or whatever, and then make them wait for a half hour, 45 minutes before they'd even get to them. Mm. I'm like, wait, you're going to make a prima ballerina. You're going to make the anchor for CNN dress up and sit there for 45 minutes waiting for you? Who the hell you think you are? So in my salon, I remember this ballerina, I can't think of her name right now, but she was like, "I'm so glad I found you. I can come in my warm-ups." My place wasn't all poshy, for sure. But they were comfortable. And when they got there, they didn't wait 5 minutes.
Well, that's the whole thing about making an appointment. You make an appointment because you want to show up and get your haircut at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's called respect to your client. Mm-hmm. So I built my clientele really well because of that.
Where were we, Barry?
We were talking about keeping appointments and showing up on time.
So what happened just now? It's fine. Don't worry. Is Barry's daughter came in,
son-in-law,
daughter and son-in-law came in, and they were trying to show up at 1, but it's probably some traffic or something got in the way. Who knows? But yeah, they showed up. It's cool. Now we have an audience. I like it.
So that's kind of how I got to Atlanta, and I stayed there for 30 years.
So 87 to 2017.
Close to that. Yeah. That'd be about right. So but when the kids got where they could take care of themselves and I didn't have to so much worry, I was getting where I could, honest to goodness, I think if you put a blindfold on me and I could do an outer perimeter haircut, once I have a guideline, blindfold. I swear to God I could.
That's dangerous.
I know, but I think I could do it. And so it became not a challenge for me. And
so did you do mostly female hair or was it males too?
Anything.
Okay.
It didn't matter.
They brought their dog in. You're like, yeah, I'll cut the dog's hair.
I had a dog. I raised my dog Yoda there. Yeah. Yoda's a whole nother trip.
What kind of dog was Yoda? I've seen your dog now, and it's a nightmare.
Australian Shepherd.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. The dog now, oh my God, it's crazy.
She's crazy.
Yeah.
She is the most dominant female dog I have ever had.
Yeah. She's super sweet to humans, but I think it's any other dog that walks out. She's like, who is this?
Not any other dog. Sometimes
some of them?
they must give her a scent that she doesn't trust or something. That little pug dog got all wrong with it.
Dude, that pug dog, I don't know what it thinks. If it thinks it can actually hurt that dog, it's crazy.
That dog's a weird little dog.
Well, he goes at your dog every time, and I'm like, you're gonna lose this fight, okay? You're gonna lose this fight. I think that same way about Simba. You've probably seen Simba, the little Chihuahua out there.
Yeah, you and that Chihuahua. That's a picture.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Well, so for those of you who don't know, my old roommates, they have this little Chihuahua. He's like this big, like super, super tiny. But I keep him when they go out of town. So it's this massive guy keeping this tiny Chihuahua. But the Chihuahua thinks it's a human.
Yeah.
It doesn't think it's a dog or anything, and it thinks it's huge. So that's why when it sees other dogs, it just ignores them because it's like, oh, it's this little dog here. Like, I'm a human. It's hilarious to watch it.
Well, it's a cute dog.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
It really is. But no, she's a piece of work on so many levels. But I'm sure I spoiled her, and plus I got her right before the pandemic. So
it's only a year old or 2 years old?
I mean, it was like 18, I think. Somewhere in 18, I got her.
Oh, this one you have now?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was still a puppy for some reason.
Well, she acts that way.
Yeah, the energy.
Yeah. No, I had to put my other dog down. She was only 8. And I was raised with dogs. We had dogs that were hunting dogs, neutral dogs, deer dogs. We had dogs, and they were always around. And
the same type of dogs or other kinds?
No, any kind. God knows. I mean, Papa loved, what was his name? Speed. His deer dog was named Speed. Boys, he loved that dog. But
so when you say deer dog, did they used to track the deer after they killed it?
No, they tracked the deer before.
Really?
Yeah.
So I've never experienced this. I've seen people bring in dogs to track them once they're already dead, but I've never seen anyone track them before.
No. They hunt down the scent and then they chase them towards you.
See, in Arkansas, we just put up tree stands. We let the deers come to us.
Well, that's so good in Arkansas. You can't do that in the marsh. I mean, you can put up a tree stand in the marsh, but that's not going to do you a lot of good.
Yeah.
So you got to depend on dogs. My dog, Lolly, oh my God. I loved her so much. When we go down to Bayou, I should probably read that poem so you know what I'm talking about.
Well, is this to relate to that?
Well, it's about being down the bayou.
Okay, so Barry is a painter, as you can see behind us. We have some of his paintings up. And this one poem that he's written, because he also writes poetry, is related to this painting right here.
No, not that one.
Okay.
This one's from.
Oh, this is from.
It's one of the. I keep it at home. It'll never be for sale.
Oh, okay. But
she'll have to deal with it.
You have one that's related to this painting too, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so we'll read that one next. But yeah. Okay, he's going to read us one about the Bayou, being on the Bayou.
It's called Our Camp.
Our Camp.
It sat on a barge of 3-inch planks, painted red lead, solid as a tank. Papa's house is what it was, the curved roof house on the big red barge. In it, he was quite content. So from November to March was spent setting traps, running lines, breaking ice in bitter cold, skinning, tearing hides off carcasses, popping dry, stretching pelts, sometimes hides drying over our heads when he didn't build a drying shed, and waking to the smell of biscuits. Burning myrtle in the stove, throwing mud balls at my sisters, running Lolly, my dog, when it wasn't cold, exploring bayous and pirogues. And that's how I spent my winters in the curved roof house on the big red barge.
Nice. Is that real?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's real as it gets. I mean, I miss school every year between November and March.
Yeah.
So needless to say, by 5th grade, I failed.
But you had life experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different type of education.
Yay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different type of education, you know?
The reason I love my Lolly, and I don't even know how old I was, probably 9. We always had to burn off a piece of land, marsh. So it's not like you can bring a lawnmower down to the marsh. So you had to burn it off, and that was where we worked. Mm-hmm. But in the winter, when the
what kind of work do you mean?
Skinning hides, tearing hides.
So this is what the barge was. The barge was
no, it was just a place where we lived while we did that.
Oh, while you trapped animals,
right?
Okay, cool.
So anyway, we had to burn it off. But when the frost came or the wind came, all the needle grasses would fall over, and it would make like a little igloo looking shape, right? So my little crazy imagination. I would go, oh, come on, Lolly, let's go play. We'd beat out the inside and play like it's crazy person.
No, it's not crazy. I grew up on a farm. I grew up in a wooded area in Arkansas. We did the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like you use your imagination to play with the outside area.
Right.
So, I mean, we were the kids that picked up sticks and had sword fights with them.
Right.
I mean, I think that's what every kid should go through, but I think the world we live in nowadays, it takes it away from kids. They don't have that opportunity.
Yes, I think so too.
So they don't have an opportunity to build their imagination.
One day we were on our way to play igloo, and Papa had cut some palmetto when we got there, but it had started to grow maybe a foot and a little bit high.
What is palmetto?
I
don't know what that is. Is it like grass or something?
Palm.
Palms?
It's a palm that does like that shape.
Okay.
And you can actually, I keep getting in the way. You can actually,
that's kind of necessary though.
Layer it.
Yeah.
Over and over, and you can build a house out of it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, literally. Mama made sure I learned how to do that.
Yeah.
But me and Lolly were going, and I just jumped over that palmetto bush, and Lolly was right there with me, and all of a sudden she wasn't, and I looked, and there was a cotton.
Thank you, young Jamie. You watch Joe Rogan? We got to have a young Jamie in here. Yeah.
It's work. But anyway, and when I jumped over, I looked back, and there was this cottonmouth, the big, huge around cottonmouth, like big around as your arm right here. And it was so close. And every time it would go, then I could smell it. And I tried to scream, but my Lolly kept that damn snake busy. Mm-hmm. So busy. And I'm screaming, but there's nothing coming out of my mouth. I mean, there's no noise. It was just, I was so damn scared, I couldn't make a sound. So finally, Mama came to throw some dishwater off the porch. And I'm standing there going, There's nothing coming out. And she called my papa's son. She said, son, I think there's a snake over there by Barry. And I'm screaming in my head, yeah, there's a snake, there's a big snake. And, but Lolly kept that damn snake off me. And when I heard the shovel go through that snake's head, neck, I literally collapsed. And Lolly came licking me. And I promised myself from that day forward, I'd have a dog for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. You couldn't get much better.
Yeah, especially living out there in a dangerous situation like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you need animals because they can sense things we can't sense.
Right.
Man, right. I said that really Southern. They can sense things we can't sense.
But here's the thing. After that, I could smell a snake 10 feet away.
So it's funny you say that because
no, for true.
My father killed a huge rattlesnake a while back, and I was like, I've never had snake meat. So we skinned the snake, and I actually brought it back here, and I had my roommates at the time cook this snake up several different ways, and there was a scent to it and a taste to it that was disgusting. I couldn't do it. Yeah. They said they didn't mind it, but I was like, I can't do this. It's disgusting. No, that scent, I mean, I can still remember it. I can't smell it today anymore. But back in the day, me and my sisters would run through the marsh. I'd go, whoa, 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 stop. There's one about right over there. And my sister be going, okay, let's go another way. You have a poem about snakes?
No.
Is that what that is? Okay. You whipped out another one. I know what it was.
No. This painting.
This is about this one. Okay.
This painting. You asked me if I would do that.
Yeah. So your art is, it's a very unique style. I would almost say it's chaotic in a way.
Sometimes
is this how you is this your brain?
My brain's pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
For real. No, the dead zone in the Gulf is what this is called.
Okay.
When I was growing up, my papa he never went to church except to give away his daughters, but he was an extremely spiritual man. Mm-hmm. And I do a painting and a demonstration called Papa's Church, mm-hmm. But the levee system caused a great deal of problem for South Louisiana and the Gulf. At the bottom of the Gulf, right where the Mississippi dumps all the stuff, the vegetation, all the stuff down there is dead. It's been killed.
I've heard about this.
Pictures of it is just sad as hell. Mm-hmm. And the idea that a levee, because I think they started the levee after the 1928 flood. And I think a whole lot of people died. And so they put up the levees. And I'm sure the politicians went, yay, we put up a levee. We can pump out that swamp and sell it. Yeah, that's what they did for the Ninth Ward. Mm. Thank you very damn much.
That's how the Ninth Ward was created?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my school principal, Mr. Blanc, said, oh, yeah, that was nothing but swamps when I was a kid.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So when they put up the levee, I'm sure, they had good intentions, but Grandma Puckett used to say the road to hell paved with good intentions.
It's mostly about money. Yeah, all of it is.
It's always about money.
Yeah.
Always. So I just wrote this morning.
Oh, did you? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a freshie.
Yeah. Why do we insist?
Let's get in the mic. Let's get everyone in this.
Well, it's hard. I have a bifocal,
Okay.
Why do we insist to fight nature's design? The Army Corps of Engineers. Before the levee, the Mississippi's flood in spring would fertilize the marshes in South Louisiana, building land spring after spring. Army Corps of Engineers. The levee's good intentions, gathering the fertilizer from the states above to cause death to the life in the Gulf and its marshes. For every 2.5 miles of marsh, a tidal surge is decreased by 1 foot. The Army Corps of Engineers. So what I'm telling you is When I was a kid, before the oil field went and cut north-south channels, which made it a hell of a lot worse, there was 100 miles of marsh below New Orleans and Biloxi. That's why we never had a devastating hurricane here in New Orleans, because a tidal surge would get here. If you do the math, Katrina should have been a 3-foot tidal surge, but we've lost 70% of the marsh. And it's only because they put the levees up and they cut north-south channels.
So how does that affect the dead zone area?
Well, the dead zone has got the fertilizers concentrated.
The fertilizer?
Yeah, from all of the farms and stuff up north.
Oh, I get what you're saying. It's coming down into the river and going out into the Gulf.
It's just getting dumped instead of when there was no levees, it would spread out. It would feed the marsh. Look,
that was one of the things about the dead zone I was reading is that there's an oxygen free zone. There's no oxygen there.
Right.
That's why it's a dead zone.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that if they kill all the plant matter down there, it's not producing more oxygen.
Right.
Makes sense. I think that humans, we do all these things because we think we're so smart, like we're going to drain the swamp and stuff. But then it has like these consequences that we can't even fathom.
But that's what I'm saying. Look, they put the levee up behind my house, or what was used to be the front of the house, when I was 3 years old. I literally remember the spring flood coming up under the house. We had the house set on pylons like that high, but I remember hearing the water lapping, and Papa, we got a new, inch of dirt, and then the St. Augustine grass would grow back, and everything was peachy keen, hunky dory till the next year. And so, but every 3 years, Papa told me when I asked him about it, he was like, "Oh, yeah, I had jacked the house up about every 3 years." Put the pylons on higher dirt that was built. How I have memories from 3 years old, I don't know. And I actually think I have one from earlier than that. But I have painted several versions of a painting that I created called My Backyard, which ended up being the title of my book.
Are they all in there, all the versions of it?
No, I got it in my head.
Okay.
The tugboat's lights break the darkness of the night against the black silhouette of distant cypress. I on Papa's knee while he sang to me. I was barely out of diapers. The moonlit swells like buttery mercury roll gently to the bulkheaded bank, while the large oak tree to the left of me hangs gracefully over its planks. Papa's left arm wrapped around me, his song in my right ear, a thick rough hand calloused and hard. His chest rises against my back. With "Climb up on my knees, honey boy." No levee will ever block that view of my backyard. You can cry if you want.
No, it's a good poem. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So I didn't know you even wrote poetry. I've seen all your paintings and stuff. Actually helped you hang them up. Yeah. But,
this is the guy. Look, can I just tell him how good you are?
Oh, I don't know. I don't want people to know.
Come on, Kyle.
I like to be dangerous.
I got there with paintings big as hell. I mean,
they're huge.
My painting about Hurricane Katrina is 4 by 6 feet. And they have these little weird ass little hook things. And I couldn't figure out how to do them. And I don't even remember how we got to that conversation, but you were like, "Oh, I got tools. I'm amazing. I got all kind of tools." And Kyle came here with what I now know is an Allen wrench. And he hung my paintings for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how we met.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm always down to like learn something new, and I've never hung a painting up. I was like, we can do this. Why not? I'll give it a shot. I always say yes before I know I can even do it. And half the time I fail.
Well,
but you learn something.
Some of those little things were that little piece of equipment you gave me for my, it tore it up. Those things are so frozen with rust. It's just
wrong. No, those hooks had been there for a long time, so we had to break some of them loose. Yeah,
yeah. But I did find an Allen wrench, and my friend Linda's dad had a toolbox, and she gave it to me when I came here because she didn't have no use for it.
Well, your paintings are massive. Like there's one cool thing about the place that we live. It's called the Artist Lofts, and a lot of the people that live there are artists, hence the name. But they have walls inside where you can hang your art up, and berries I think are by far the biggest ones that are in there on the walls. They look really nice.
I like to paint big,
and that's. But your style is so cool. Like that's why I said the chaos style. But you also are using the textures now with the raised paintings.
Yeah. See, like
really cool.
These paintings I did with a brush. Mm-hmm. It was before I actually.
Is that book online anywhere?
Oh no.
Okay, I was going to put a link to it.
Self-published. If y'all want me to publish it, you must give me some money.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could put it online somewhere as an e-doc.
But no, you can
make some money off of it.
You can see this is not nearly as textural as my work now.
Yeah, no, you should just turn this into an e-doc, and we'll sell it.
Oh yeah, well when you want to make an e-doc for me, thank you.
Well, I'll show you how to do it.
No, yeah, all right.
I can't do it. I can't do it all.
No, I'm just telling you, I'm so stuck on stupid with technology.
No, you can do it. It's really easy to do now. Yeah. Well, I'll show you how. We'll do it one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So past that, where do we go from here?
Well, you came back to New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Are you still painting and stuff?
I haven't done a painting since I've been here. Mm-hmm. It's
the transition.
I do love the light. No, it's because I've been hunting down galleries. And some of them actually respond. 600 Julia, she was very kind, wrote a very nice thank you, but I'm stacked up with people, and but most of them don't even bother to respond. Some of them, but I learned this word, URL. Their URL that they have in their website bounces back and says, sorry, there's no such thing as this URL.
Well, we are in a weird state right now with the economy. So, I mean, I'm surprised some of these, because I mean, it does cost money to keep a website running. And if your gallery's been closed down for a long time because of COVID or anything, the quarantine stuff, then it makes sense they would just let it go away. Like our website for the bar, other bar, we shut it down whenever we closed down for the quarantine. And now our URL just takes you to our Instagram page, because I was like, what do we need a website for anymore? Send them to our Instagram page. But yeah, it makes sense that they would shut some of those down.
Well, but the thing is I went face to face to the gallery I've been looking at even since I was in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And they were, who are you? Why are you walking up in here unless you're going to buy a painting kind of thing? And so I thought, okay, they basically said, no, go away. And I told the lady, I said, look, I'll talk to a post till it moves. And she said, well, this post is about to move. Like, yeah, you.
Props on you, Ma.
I know, huh? But anyway, no, she like gave me her 411. But I went back to her website then, and that's when I've got her URL. I made all this stuff very pretty, put the titles and the price and all that. And then I go to the URL and it bounces back going, never mind.
There are a lot of galleries down here. I mean, I think if you keep, throwing stuff at the wall, it'll stick eventually.
Well, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. I think it's part of being an artist in general, is you just gotta keep shoving it in people's faces. Like there's so much content that's created nowadays. Like you almost have to just every single day go, hey, look at my shit. Look at my shit.
Well, but that's the whole thing. But I looked at numerous galleries, and what I see is like disfigured faces.
Oh, that's the one. That guy down in on what is it? What's that freaking street? Oh my God, it's next to Bourbon Street. It's not Bourbon Street, but it's the one. Decatur, maybe?
It's kind of like they want to be Picasso.
What is it? Yeah, Royal, yeah. Dude, that guy's gallery is fascinating to me. The one with the disfigured faces.
But see, that bothers me.
It's terrifying to me too, but that's why it's so fascinating because like I could see those crazy monsters in my dreams.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see that. Hell, last night I had a nightmare that I was messing up somebody's hair, for God's sakes. I mean, my brain is just, no, I messed that up so bad. Ooh. I was like, it was somebody I liked. I can't remember who it was now, but yeah. But no, but I can paint anything. Honestly, I can. I wanted to, once I read Mike Tidwell's book, Bayou Farewell, that's when I decided to put my artwork out to the world. Mm-hmm. And everybody in Louisiana needs to read that book. It's Bayou Farewell is, it was everything.
What does he talk about in it?
How he literally,
I mean, from the name, it kind of sounds like he was talking about the draining of the swamps and them expanding the land out.
Same thing. He was talking about all the crap people have done to mess up everything that works right. So
everything that Mother Nature made.
Right. Exactly. And so,
was this an excerpt from his book?
No, this is the poem I wrote for him.
Okay.
Dedicated to him.
Okay.
And I still have his email.
Is he dead?
No, he
send
just,
it to him.
He was very nice. No, he's seen this.
Oh, you seen it? Okay.
Yeah, he sent me an email saying thank you, and this is all great, and you better than you think you are.
Cool.
Kind of, sort of.
Let's check it out.
All right. Bifocal. I heard the politicians say in a hunter's whisper, there's a poet in the marsh. I heard one today. He's crying about the marsh's accelerated decay. Mr. Politician, can you help us anyway? I refuse to think that the marsh is so quickly going away. If you can scan the galaxy and bring men back from the dead, why can't you save our marsh? I can't wrap that around my head. There's a poet in the marsh. I heard one today, whining and crying. Who needs them anyway? Mr. Politician, I'm here to make you feel. Try to wrap your heart around the things that are real, like love, friendship, passion, sorrow, the love for the earth, and concern for tomorrow. There's a poet in the marsh. I heard one today. Mr. Politician, I cry for America's wetlands, not just mine, but coast to coast. The encroaching seas are turning Cyprus into ghost. Their corpses line the waterways. Next, it's the willows and the oaks. The things we've done are destroying our Louisiana coast. Communities in the bayous are washing out to sea. The canals like open wounds. Tell me, can't you see how important Mississippi's silt is to you and me? Without her low S, all is lost. There's a poet in the marsh. I heard one today. Should we shoot him?
Yes, that's what the answer is. Yeah, no, that's a good one. I like that a lot.
Yeah, Mike liked it too. Yeah.
But guess what? The politicians don't give a shit.
No, for real.
That's a whole nother topic right there. Like, I've been so disgusted this past 4 or 5 years, just because I never got into politics. My whole theory on politics was like, if they can't do anything to affect my life, then I don't really care. I'm a pretty laid back guy. However, if you notice the past like 2 to 3 years, they really affected my life. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, it's time to dive into this. And I am so disgusted by everything that I find. Like there's no genuine politician anymore. They're all just paid off.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
This whole lobbying bullshit.
Yeah, they're all
They need to stop that crap.
Right. And it's never going to happen.
Don't say never.
Well, I mean, I've been working. So I've been working on a solution for quite a while now, for the past 3 years, actually, when I started looking into it. And I've been trying to get people to fall in line with it, and it would actually stop the lobbying. And
that's what needs to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, if those guys wouldn't stay in there that damn long if they wasn't getting paid.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is the average person doesn't have a clue what's going on in Congress, and that's where everything's messed up, because that's where all the lobbying money's going and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if we could just build a system that monitors Congress, that allows you and me to monitor Congress, and I've already designed it. It's on paper. If someone just wants to take it and run with it, I have no desire to go into politics at all, but the system is literally designed. It'll monitor Congress, and it'll get rid of the bad politicians and also kick out the lobbyists.
Well, the lobbying is what caused the whole big problem.
No, definitely.
Sure.
What's allowing corporate America to buy politicians?
Plus, we got people. Politicians don't go there to do good. You know, maybe the one in New Jersey.
I say scan them all.
You know, but
like that, you can't. You don't know which one. They're just good actors, is what they are.
Yeah, for sure.
They're good actors that say the right thing to get paid. So until you have something that sits over the top of our government and monitors what they're actually doing, they're going to stay there.
Well, we used to have the Supreme Court.
No, none of this stuff works right anymore.
No.
When you put enough money into a system, you just get a virus, and the virus are bad politicians nowadays. But it's a great poem, though. I like it a lot.
Thank you. Mike did too. He actually signed a book for me. Yeah.
Is he from New Orleans?
No, he lives Charleston or somewhere there.
What gave him the interest of writing a book?
Because he's a conservationist.
Oh, okay.
And this situation, literally, if you read that book, you will see it was like he almost wrote down what Katrina was going to do.
Right.
You know, the 4x6 foot painting. I did it after Hurricane Katrina. While my friends from CNN were flying all over the convention center in their helicopter, getting down. Yeah. So I was horrified. At the time, I was president of the Atlanta Arts Center. And we had to go meet with the city council for something that, trying to get them to recognize, independent art organizations. And Katrina was coming in and all that. And, I knew from being here, living through hurricanes, I was really worried because that eye of that storm was tight as hell. And I got back to the gallery, and the past president, first words out of her mouth were, "Barry, the levee broke." I literally fell to my knees and started bawling. And she was like, "Oh my God, I didn't expect that kind of response." I said, "You know who's gonna die? The musicians, the servers, the waiters, all of these people, the poor people are going to die. That's who's dying."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I didn't know." So I'd be on the phone with Leslie, who was, producer. She produces the Democratic convention, but she's also a reporter. And I'm on the phone with Leslie going, I told my family to wear yellow shirts. If you see them floating, let me know, But no, I was like, this makes no damn sense. How many days did it take before Honoré showed up?
What is that?
General Honoré.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
He used to be an Army person.
A military guy? Okay.
Yeah, not the Army Corps of Engineers. I hate one of those words. National Guard.
Okay.
But that painting, I actually wrote, that was the first time I ever wrote into the front of a painting. And standing at the convention center, knowing that the government would come, they did 3 days later. Images gouged into my brain. All the while, our fellow citizens washed away to be forgotten, but not by me. Not by me. At least 1,836 people lost their lives in Hurricane Katrina and the subsequent flooding, making it the deadliest U.S. hurricane since 1928. It should be noted that officially 1,464 of these deaths took place within New Orleans. I'll save the rest.
I didn't realize that many people died from it.
I still have an image of this land.
Did they die from the actual hurricane, or was it from
the backwash of the flood? See, that's what I'm telling you. If we had had our marshes, we'd have had a 3-foot surge, not a 30-foot surge that filled up the Pontchartrain. And in the Pontchartrain, guess what? I mean, you get a cup of coffee, and just kind of throw a little bit of water on top of what's already there, and then it's going to come back at you.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's the way shit works.
Well, I was wondering if people might have died after the hurricane from killing each other.
No.
Okay.
No, not to my knowledge anyway.
That's a pretty big. It's a pretty big no.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard a lot of things from the military guys. I think they might have killed some.
Maybe the military guy. I don't know, but I never heard that. But this is actual people who drowned.
Well, it's so crazy to me that we have this like structured society, and all it takes is one little thing like that to throw everything into chaos. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't experience Katrina, but I was here for Ida when it came through this past year. Mm-hmm. And the amount of chaos that sprung out of just that hurricane coming through and the power shut down and some people weren't getting water was very eye-opening to me. It was a very it was a strange juxtaposition that we went through whenever we saw how everyone was kind of in our building was banding together to survive. Like we all brought meat out. We were all grilling out every day and hanging out together. But then we drove from New Orleans. We stayed here for like a week or something. Drove from New Orleans to Memphis, and we stayed in Memphis for a night. And just going from surviving for an entire week to Memphis, and we walked to a Redbirds game that night. It was so crazy because no one else had a clue what we just went through. Mm-mm. I was like, this is very eye-opening because I mean, there are experiences like that all the time. It's not just with the surviving a hurricane, but it's people that go to war. Like they come back and we have no clue what they're actually going through.
Exactly.
And I don't know how to like teach people these things without just like, telling the stories. But I mean, even if you hear a story, you're not going to relate to it.
Well, I can't teach people. I just hope that I can bring an awareness as to the importance of trying to save the marsh, trying to save Louisiana. I mean, everything in South Louisiana was built by the Mississippi River silting out. I mean, hello, look at the map.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense when you look at it from a top-down perspective. But I think most people are so ingrained in their little tiny lives, they don't branch out and see things.
Well, now it's like this.
Yeah, like this is their life to most people. Right, yeah. Right. So, I mean, it's impossible for them to branch out and actually see what's actually going on in the world. And even when we're talking about the politics stuff, if my life never would have got flipped upside down by these politicians, I would never would have looked into that problem. But I think that's why the world we're going into right now is in such a flux mode, because we're all experiencing very new things, but it's also showcasing all the problems. It's bringing light to the problems. Mm-hmm. We just need people to step up and start solving the problems that it's bringing light to.
Well, it's chaotic is what it is.
Life is chaotic.
That painting.
Your paintings are chaotic.
Yeah, the painting at the end of the hall is called 2020 a shitstorm.
So I'm gonna snap some pictures of those too whenever I go home, and I'll post those on the video version of this. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so that way everyone can see the paintings we're talking about.
That's so kind.
Yeah,
that's so kind.
Hopefully, I'll be able to post the right ones in the right spots. But yeah.
Yeah. One day I was out at the park and just kind of breathing some air, and I saw a young man casting a net. Now, don't mean nothing to anybody else probably, but my cousin, she did respond to that picture. Papa, he was not even 5 feet maybe on a good day, and that's how he would get bait. And it was beautiful to watch Papa cast a net from a pirogue. I mean,
what is that?
Keeping your balance in a pirogue, for God's sake.
What's a pirogue?
A flat bottom canoe.
Okay.
And it has yokes that do this, and you put oars on the nail.
Okay.
So you can stand up and row.
Flat bottom canoe.
Yeah. And it's only maybe that wide.
Yeah. So it's not like a jumbo.
At its widest point, it's about that wide. But yeah,
No, there's no way I could stand up on that.
yeah, you could.
Well, avid canoeer, I could never stand up in the canoe. Like,
Well, no, that's the point. Canoes are stupid for having a round bottom.
Oh, that's true. The flat bottom probably does help you stand up in there.
Hello. Come on. What the?
So anyway, he would get bait this way?
Yeah.
What kind of bait would he get?
Like mullets.
I don't know what a mullet is either.
It's a little fish. It's a little fish.
Okay. All these things, these Bayou things that I have no clue about.
I had an interesting life, bro. You know, I probably know a whole lot of useless shit.
But I think we all do. That's part of being alive on this planet right now.
But anyway, this guy was out there casting, and I asked if I could take a picture, and he let me. He and his brother-in-law. He ended up being my barber in Lafayette. I was great guy. I did a paper piece of the same thing and gave it to him. I said it was a model fee, but really good guy.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what that painting is about.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Maybe they can see it. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, you can catch mullets.
Mullets are just tiny fish for the rest of the world out there, I guess. I think we know them as minnows, maybe back in Arkansas. Is it the same thing?
No.
Okay, different thing.
Nice.
Well, Barry, where can the people find you at? Are you on social medias or anything?
Well, yeah, I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Can you tell them your handles?
I don't know my handles.
Do you know?
I know I have a website called Barry Sons Art.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, if you just Google Barry Sons Artist.
So BarrySonsArt.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you Google that, my name comes up because the son's name is extremely rare.
Yeah, it is.
We're anybody with that last name, we related.
What's his Instagram handle?
It's two. It's Barry Sons Art is one.
Barry Sons Art on Instagram is one of them.
Barry.Sons_River-Rat.
Oh, yeah, the River Rat. Yeah.
So Barry.Sons_River-Rat. Okay.
Yeah.
And what we need to do on your Instagram, we're going to set you up with a link tree too. I'll show you how to do that. Mm-hmm. And your link tree is going to take you to your website.
No, you're going to write down how to do it.
Well, I mean
you can't show me because, you know.
It's a pretty simple process.
It's a stroke.
We can do it. Pretty simple process. And then we can get you digitized on that book and people can go buy it if they want to.
Digitized.
Yeah, we can do this. Barry, you have another one you want to read before we get out of here?
We just talked about a pirogue.
Okay, yeah, the pirogue.
I can't not talk about my papa and my mama.
No, let's go for it.
Papa was born in 2003.
Okay.
Mama was born in 2009. She got married when she was 13.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still amazed. Sometimes I was not taught prejudice. And they were born way in the back when they should have been prejudiced people.
Well, when everyone's poor, you're just trying to survive. Like, no one's worried about.
We were all just poor together.
Yeah.
So I did a painting that I just donated to the museum in Berwick. It's called Bond to a Memory Fulfilled.
Okay.
Time has covered you, but not the memory.
Remember.
Oh, sorry.
That way everyone else can hear us. Like, we can hear it right here, but everyone needs to hear it.
Well, that's nice. Time has covered you, but not the memory of you. You grew up in a Palmetto shack, common, illiterate, and French as a first language. Abuse as a way of life. Time has covered abuse with love. Your love, Papa. Your love of Mama and us changed all for you and us. Your love got the house on land, the big boat. All you had was a pirogue and a fish cart, and you grew it big. Time has covered all of that. All that you built, but not what you taught us. Respect for all, no matter the color of their skin. Until you walk in their moccasins, you always said, you don't know. Time has covered it, but not your gene pool. Your grandchildren stand on your shoulders, Papa. I ran from the killing, not from you. I ran from the wet, piercing cold, the blood smell, not from you. I ran to fulfill the dream pool, not from you. Death itself has not and never will break our bond. My papa's boat was called the Bond. He bought it with war bonds.
Oh, nice.
He bought the house for $1,000 when rat pelts were only 25 cents a hide.
Mm.
And then he traded the bathtub, because it was in the middle of the war, for 3 pieces of property, what ended up being across the street.
Why the bathtub? Because they needed metal?
Miss Eva wanted a bathtub. Mr.
Okay.
Willie, yeah. Mr. Willie was selling Papa the house.
I thought it was like to melt down for like guns or something.
No. In the war, you couldn't get no iron bathtub, but Miss Eva wanted a damn bathtub, and Mama was like, oh, hell. And Papa said, you can hug that number 3 tub for a little while longer. So, yeah, Mama wasn't thrilled, but by the time I came along, we had a bathtub.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice.
No, it amazes me how, because my father is from a similar situation where they had to kill what they wanted to eat every night. Mm-hmm. And it amazes me that he, came out of that and emerged into the man he is today.
Yeah, I'm about to start doing that again.
I think everyone may be soon, like depending on how the world goes. But I mean, it's you never know, man.
People ask, did you eat the rats? No. I didn't even trust Mama when we had squirrel. I didn't trust Mama because she would have slipped a rat in there in a heartbeat.
Oh, I love some squirrel.
But you can have squirrel.
Well, I don't eat it anymore.
It looked too much like a rat.
They do look like a rat, but I've eaten some questionable things just to try them.
No.
I mean, there are people that eat things in the world that I was
like
try
crickets and shit like that.
Yeah,
I ain't doing none of that.
So,
I'm sorry. I ain't eating no damn roach covered in whatever.
No, I don't want to eat. I think crickets are disgusting, but I did try one because the Insectarium, the chef from the Insectarium, comes into the bar here. So I was like, if you are really the chef of the Insectarium, bring me some bugs to eat. So you know what he did?
He did not.
He brought us chocolate covered crickets. He brought us mealworm cookies, and he brought us another cricket that was covered in peppermint crickets. It's really crazy. Okay,
Can you see my face?
No, I mean it's the camera can see it. Yeah, he's making bad faces at me on Spotify. Yeah, but no. So the mealworm cookies were good, but the fact that you're eating mealworms is totally disgusting in your brain. The chocolate covered crickets. This is what's really crazy. Tastes just like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Stop.
I swear.
Stop.
I swear to you.
You cannot lie to me. There is no way in hell you can reproduce it, but come on.
Just like Reese's peanut butter cups. It's incredible. But I never want to eat them because like sometimes whenever you eat them, like in a Reese's peanut butter cup, you never get a cricket leg in your teeth.
You realize what I'm saying?
You get a cricket leg in your teeth.
No, hell no. Yeah, okay. You see, that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong right there. That's it. That's it.
Well, Barry, I appreciate you coming in today and telling us your story.
I thank you for having me.
We'll see if we can drive some traffic towards your art, man. We'll see if you can expand your story out and maybe we can get some of those swamps saved.
That would mean a lot.